If you are past your 30s, chances are that you thought about this at least once. Let's imagine against all the laws of physics that you can travel back in time and advise your younger self of anything. All the knowledge, all the information, all the experiences, all the skills that you gather as an adult. What is the things that you would change straight away on top of your mind? And what are the things that you would keep? The first thing that comes to mind is a day, the 2nd of December 2010, where I was working in a job as a delivery guy. I was delivering pharmacs, I was driving 220 kilometers a day, twice a day, and I was listening to this program called Tutto Esaurito. It's a group of guys and a girl that gather around a radio, and they just talk about stuff. They called people, and there was this habit they had of calling people and ask for lotto numbers. I'm 22 at the time. I didn't believe in lotto. It was the worst investment you can have in life. The average person in America doesn't have 200 spare dollars to spend, and the average low-income person in America spends around $200 in lotto tickets. I kid you not, these are data that you can check. I always imagine as looking at somebody and guess his telephone number. You have better choices of guessing the lotto numbers. So this day I'm listening to the radio and they call a random woman. They ask for lotto numbers on the round of Milan because you can choose different cities. So you have 5 numbers as a combination and 1 city. They call this woman and they asked for lotto numbers, and it was 2, 12, 22, 78 and 79. Yes, I remember the numbers. The round was the city of Milan. She picks that as well because the radio station is in Milan, and one of the conductor of the radio show says, such an imagination. They drop the call in the morning after, before the show starts. They have these random calls from people every day, and this day everybody's announcing that they bet on the numbers and they won. And I remember a moment when I was listening to the radio when they were asking for the numbers the day before. I was about to step out of the car and I thought, that's interesting. But it didn't even cross my mind to bet on the numbers. It takes just following your instinct to follow them right, that it can change your life completely. And this is a shortcut. I acknowledge it's a shortcut. There are many more things like getting a second passport, investing years of your life into a career, starting a business. But this single decision, it's a matter of instinct. And the day I was about to leave the car with a foot in the car, a foot out, listening to this, and I thought, that's fine. And the day after I didn't consider it much. I thought, good for them. But imagine if we were raised to follow our instinct. Funny enough, a few months before, Lost just finished, and in Lost there is a guy that bets some money on a ticket and he wins a lot of money out of it, and it becomes a curse. And this is my point. If you were able to go back in time, winning the lotto, let's say around 3.5 million, 5 million, 10 millions, because a number like this, 5 and the right city, gives you a multiplicator of 1 to 6 million, which means if you put €1, you win 6 million euros. You can put as much as 200 euros. So you do the math. I did. Let's imagine for a second that you can go back in time, bet on these numbers because you follow your instinct this time. How would you change your life? And will it destroy it or will it make it better? And now my second point. Most of the people that win the lotto, after a few years, they go bankrupt. And some of them, they commit suicide because they experience a crazy high. Like Miley Cyrus singing a song and having 38,000 people singing the same song that she wrote. And she clearly states that there is no such drug that produces such a feeling. So after you are trying drugs because you want to replicate it. So imagine you win the lotto, you have all this money. You are being very careful because anybody you say it to, they want you or they want your money. People can show up behind you or outside of your house and want something from you. It changes the way you behave, it changes the way that you look at people look at you. It's going from 0 to 100 in few minutes, in few months. Do you know how to manage money? Do you have a good relationship with money? Are you able to regulate your emotions properly? Do you know how to invest? Do you know how to behave with people differently? Do you know how not to brag? Do you know how to save? Do you know how to open a trust or a company? Imagine now you have 10 years span. You learn about sales, you learn about trust, you learn how to create a LLC, a limited liability company, offshore company. You learn how loopholes in the world works, so you can start a company in Dubai or in Palau to diminish the taxes you have. You open a trust, so the government cannot come after you and the trust is entitled to you. So if there is any problem, they don't come at your account, everything belongs to the trust or to the company, so you are safe. Now you learn all these lessons in 10 years rather than in 1 week. Will it make a difference if you go back in time? And this is the problem. People want the shortcut, not understanding that the hard way, climbing the mountain, is what really matters. It's not getting on top of the mountain. It's the climb itself that changes you. And I make it a goal for myself, my own purpose, to learn all these things and transfer them to my children. Because I had nobody, not the school, not my parents, not the government, teaching these things to me. Imagine if somebody teaches you this from year zero, and then going back in time will make sense, because you have so much to share, and you can change generations, not one generations, but many generations to come. So don't choose traveling back in time. Choose to make the best out of the life you have right now.